We would be so much happier if people were just honest about what it is they wanted and how it is they want to show up. And then if the person in front of you does not resonate with that, move on, because someone else will. Someone else will love exactly what's coming out your mouth. And it may not be that
Right.
person, but you will be happier. And then the person you were with will be happier because both of you are fulfilled. I think we get into a lot of trouble when we try to be what others want us to be, because we can never act that long. We can never hold character that long. And then they think that you change when the essence of it is, I was never that person to begin with. I was born a medium. I want to say around 8 or 9, I was tested for schizophrenia because I told my mom that I hear voices in the walls, right? And so she had me tested for schizophrenia. Of course, nothing came back. They couldn't find anything. And they told her I just had an overactive imagination. And so voices became normal for me. I didn't think that, I was raised that everybody has these voices. I just learned that 7 years ago that not everybody has voices that talk to them in third person. So I was seeking counsel from someone else, and they're like, did you know that you're a medium as well? And I'm like, yeah, no, that's not me. And they were like, yeah, talk to this lady. So I went and I talked to Janet Blessings, which is my spiritual mentor, and she taught me how to use my gift. And with that, she was basically like, you have the gift of manifestation. You could kind of make things happen. And I didn't think about that. And she's like, your whole life has been blessed. And I'm like, yeah, but things just kind of align that way. And she's like, yeah, no. I really do think that everybody was put here for a specific purpose. And sometimes we tend to work counterintuitive to our purpose because of what others desire for us. And then a lot of times that leads to our midlife crisis of then people thinking we losing our mind because we start to shirk everything that we once were. And it's because that wasn't us to begin with. That was what others wanted of us, that we just obliged. And everybody's like, no, you changed. And it's like, no, not really. I just took my mask off. I stopped pretending. I didn't change. I just stopped making you comfortable. I like to tell women to put you first, but make sure that when you do compromise, it's a decision you're making and not a decision someone's making for you. There is the distinction. So people like to think I'm saying, don't compromise, me. And it's not really what I'm saying. Is just recognize when you are making that compromise, that it's for you and it's a decision you want to do and not something that somebody else is coaxing you to do.
So you've had these gifts since, a very early age. You've had these voices and awarenesses for a very early age. But did you say just a couple years ago, someone was like, well, that's because you're clairvoyant. That's because you are, a medium. That's because, there's a label for this stuff and it's legit. Right. Like you've got these talents and you should embrace them. You said that was just a couple years ago?
It was about 7 years ago. I want to say 1 year before I showed up at Karma Fest. Karma Fest was my first spiritual vending event where I honestly stood in my power. I am Ty Johnson Anderson. I also go by Siren Kincaid, depends on which arena I'm working in. But I am a psychic medium and energy healer. I have the ability to shift physical energy and kind of manipulate your timeline in terms of manifestation. So what I tend to do is I am very type A. So I am a veteran. So I'm Army. So a lot of the masculine energy is do. This is what I want to do. This is how I'm going to attack it. It's very strategic. and I'm going to kick down doors and I'm going to get it. Whereas when I'm talking about feminine, it is really the act of being taken care of, the act of kind of asking for what you desire and allowing the universe to facilitate that, or allow others to facilitate that. A lot of us work in the masculine for manifestation because it's like, oh, I'm going to do these steps and I'm going to get it. But I like to think of that more as goal setting and a goal achievement than manifesting. Manifesting in and of itself is irrational. So a strategic approach to manifesting is kind of counterintuitive and an oxymoron. So I teach them to undo that and really just figure out what they want, get clear, because that's where we kind of mess up. We start to ask for things that we really don't desire. Get clear on their desires, ask for exactly what they want, and watch it show up. And it's been mind-blowing, the act of actually releasing the hold on the outcome. The one step that I teach most of my clientele is what I call the switch method, or what I would get them to do, say if they were trying to manifest a new position. First, we get clear on what it is you desire, but most of us don't know what it is we want. We just know what we don't like, and we know what we don't want. Our brain just works that way. So instead of working against our brain, I like to have them flip the script. So I have them go over why they left certain jobs, like whether the boss was a micromanager, it was a toxic work environment, they wasn't getting paid enough. So I have them list all the reasons why they left certain jobs, why they felt underappreciated at certain jobs, and really what kind of killed them slowly at certain jobs. And then I have them go and write the inverse of those things on a new list. So if your boss was a micromanager, you desire a position in which you have autonomy, that you're free to work on your own. You desire a position that is free of microaggressions and allows you to be able to feel safe at work. You desire compensation of X amount. You desire benefits that look like this. So I get them, that's their way to get clear. Then we crumble up the negative list. We don't give any more energy to that. And then we move on with the actual list of what we want. The main thing is simply getting clear on what it specifically is you're asking for, and it's never money. Most of us don't want money. We want what money affords us the ability to do. And so I start asking for those things instead, because a lot of times you don't have to have the physical cash reach your hands in order to do those things. So yeah, I just open up the possibilities. I was a government contractor. I'm doing military intelligence on the cyber side of things down at NSA. And my daughter came, and I no longer wanted that lifestyle because I didn't belong to myself. I was an asset to the government, right? So if the general had to be brief at 5:30, he didn't care that daycare didn't open until 6:30. You know, so I started to think about leaving the career, 6+ figures, and so it was really hard for me to figure out the how of leaving and how I'm going to survive, because this is all I known for 16 years. This is all I did. But I went to a conference one day. I stood up and proclaimed what it is that I desired: to be home, work my business full time, all of that. And 3 hours later, I was seizing on the floor of urgent care. Never had a seizure a day in my life. I'm on urgent care's floor, seizing, and I'm just like, why? How did you get this out of what I wanted? But that was the fastest way possible, right? I was on, a month after, I was on disability, paid 70% of my income for, I want to say, about 2 years. So they handled the money portion where I was like, I don't know how I'm going to handle this. It's like, okay, here, disability. And that's my spiritual awakening of sorts.
What was the seizure related to?
They have no idea. It's all energetic. They still have zero clue. I still have them to this day. I managed them a lot better than I did back then. Of course, I manage my energy. I do a lot to stay balanced. The illness was just the precipice for me living my life. It took me a year to actualize that spirit in the universe was giving me my desires, which is freedom. And here I am after fighting it for a long time. I fought it for so long. What would it be like for me to actually be Thai and get paid to be Thai? And I did not know what that looked like. And this has evolved over the years, and I allow myself the evolution. Even when I'm like, what will people say? So recently I've moved over into like sex magic and using your divine femininity to manipulate your energy to get what you want and things. So it's like, what will my parents think? And at that moment, it's like, well, I'm not going back there. I kind of lived for other people for so long. I kind of just want to be and exist. And it's been paying off, and I'm happier for it. And everybody around me is happier for it because I'm happy. So I encourage people to start where they are. It's okay. We were all once novices. We were all once baby witches. We were all once all those things. We have to learn to crawl before we walk. And then even if you are super powerful at the beginning, we have to stand in that energy. And sometimes it's really hard to do that when society says you have to prove yourself first to claim anything. So it's just like, I'm not going to claim I'm clairaudient because I don't feel like I am. I need a certification. I need this and I need that. And I would just say, start again, just start and embrace it. Let yourself evolve. I didn't quote unquote have all these gifts at the beginning. I let it show itself, one step at a time. You can find me at TyJohnsonAnderson.com and initiatingthedivine.com. So I have learned to kind of let things flow, and that is moving, I guess, again, moving in the feminine energy of just receiving and allowing the universe to align the opportunities. I've been so much more successful tangibly than me like, hey, this is my goal and I'm going to get it. And so I tell them how I want my lifestyle to be, and I allow them to fulfill that.